Some mornings are different than others and full of surprises. Suppose you walk into your kitchen. So far, you've not even opened your eyes properly. And then you see something unusual on the top of your microwave. Would you even believe it was real? Well, what Kim Fryer found in her kitchen one morning was someone's unexpected presence. And her cat's reaction to this someone was even more surprising. Watch to see what happens when your cat doesn't like the uninvited guest. Family dinner. The Fryer family planned to spend a day out. They went for a picnic in the nearby park and were planning to end their day with a movie and late-night dinner. The entire day and the evening was a great success, and the family was busy in making as many memories as possible before the kids grow up and walk away in the direction of their separate lives. Past midnight. It was past midnight, and the Fryer family reached home after watching movies. As soon as they opened the door, they saw their cat, George, sleeping on the couch as usual. After having dinner outside, they were all set to hit their beds as earliest as possible. From a long time, the family was in need of a well-spent Saturday like this. A typical cat. Curious about everything but their owners, sleeping everywhere but their beds, cats are born with a much higher level of swag than us humans, who adore their cats. George the cat, too, had an attitude like that. Yes, he loved his humans, but he was a happy non-cuddler cat who loved to live in his own little world, either sleeping or looking outside the window, and of course mostly purring for food. A fully grown cat. George, a fully grown ginger male cat who goes for a daily morning walk with his human. He spends half his days chasing away the birds from his backyard, and the rest of the time he sits on the coziest sofa in the house. Everyone asleep. That night, everyone quickly headed to their bedrooms. It was the winter season and their cat George was sleeping with their daughter. Kim was awake to complete some office work, but she too slept around 1 a.m. The family slept unaware of the fact that they forgot to do a very important thing that night. Open window. So that night, exhausted Kim didn't close any of the windows in the kitchen. And we all know how leaving a door or window open is giving an invitation to much possible danger. How scary can it become when someone intrudes your safe haven? Something enters. Around 3 to 4 a.m., when everyone in the room was in deep sleep, the open window was finally noticed. And after checking the surroundings and without making any sound, something eventually entered their house. What was it? Moreover, what was it looking for? Looking around. Furthermore, this creature walked a few steps further in their house and took a quick glance at everything. You must be wondering, how do we know about it? Well, you'll get to know soon. Whatever it was, no one was aware of its presence and the fact that it's walking around in their house without permission. Good morning. Did it not feel bad when someone woke you up 5 minutes earlier than your alarm clock? The next morning, Kim Chu woke up when her eldest daughter was shouting from downstairs. It was Sunday morning and her daughter had no reason to disturb Kim at such an early hour. Serious matter. Kim knew her daughter would never spoil her sleep for something unnecessary. Also, one thing was certain by her daughter's voice. Whatever she was calling her mom for was a serious matter. Kim grew worried and rushed downstairs. Ready for morning jogs. Kim's eldest daughter, a fitness freak, was following an early morning jogging routine. Hence, she used to wake up before everyone else. So, like every other day, she woke up and after some stretches, she was all set to head to the nearby park. Just when she crossed by the kitchen, a weird image appeared in her mind. Noticed something. Kim's daughter noticed a dark figure sitting on top of the microwave, and she assumed it to be George, her cat. However, before she could leave the house, it struck her mind that George was sleeping on her bed. So if it wasn't George, then what was it? Bigger ears. As I was passing the kitchen, I noticed these rather large ears. I had 1 foot in the bathroom and 1 foot in the hall and stepped back to look again. Those were not cat ears, remembered the girl. That's when she shouted, "Mom!" Oh my God. Kim asked her daughter irritatingly why she was shouting so loudly in the morning. Her daughter didn't say a word and just pointed toward the kitchen. Kim went inside and exclaimed, "Oh Lord!" The dirty floor. As she walked inside the kitchen, The floor was a mess, as if someone walked in dirty slippers everywhere. She turned back and asked her daughter, "How did it happen?" And she again pointed in the same direction. The little buddy. My daughter found him at 7 a.m. and called up to me. "I came down and spotted this little fox curled up on top of the microwave," said Kim, thinking of what exactly the scene when she entered the kitchen. The close encounter. "I looked at him and he looked at me," remembered Kim about that day. She couldn't understand how could it possibly happen. It was indeed a good morning surprise for both of them, but it came as the biggest shock to George, the cat. Wild animal. So Kim's daughter found a fox curled up sleeping on top of their microwave. While the entire family stood there wondering, the fox was least bothered by any noises and continued sleeping. They were discussing they should just leave him outside or call the animal control center. First things first. So the first thing was to make sure that George remained far away from this uninvited guest. After all, nobody knew how they'd react if they saw each other. The curious cat was trying to make his way to the kitchen but couldn't succeed. Scary moment. Even though a fox might not seem like such a big threat to most of us, this animal actually has a strong bite. But it was clear that the animal was used to humans in their homes, so she knew they weren't actually in danger. Is it hungry? It was the first time that Kim saw a wild animal, and the first thought to cross her mind was if the fox was hungry. This thought scared her, and she decided that she had to do something about it. Waking up. So in order to wake up the fox, Kim started to make noises from the end of the room. The fox didn't even move, and he looked like he was ill or something. The moment this fox slightly opened his eyes, Kim understood she needed to call for help. Red eyes. Usually, wild animals tend to behave differently when around humans, but this fox was different. The fox's eyes were red, and he was not ready to move from the microwave, nor did he seem scared of anyone. Special help. Kim made a call to the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, RSPCA, an organization that's dedicated to help and save the animals and fight against the cruelty of the wildlife. Thanks to the help of the huge number of population of volunteers at the RSPCA, they were able to answer every call for help. The RSPCA. The RSPCA's rescue team was on its way to Kim's house. Meanwhile, the fox got up from the microwave and sat in a different location. This act of the fox wasn't liked by George at all. You won't believe what happened next. Cat's bed. The fox slowly walked and sat on the cat's bed. The fox seemed to have caught a cold and was looking for a warmer place. The fox was trying to fall asleep all over again when George the cat noticed that the uninvited guest took over its bed. The possibilities. There are many tales of foxes and cats, but what will happen when they see each other in the real life? Will George the cat let the fox sleep in his bed, or will he protest? What happened next was a quick and interesting encounter. Can they be friends? Usually cats and foxes don't get along easily, but will they this time? So George was hissing loudly and staring at the fox, but the fox wasn't ready to move. If they were left alone, someone was surely going to get hurt. Not happy. George the cat noticed it instantly. He jumped off Kim's daughter's hand and reached there. The cat was trying to start a fight with the fox, but Kim took him away. The help was just 5 minutes off. The face-off. He jumped on the side and leapt into action and was telling the fox off. He was even hissing at him, but the fox just looked at him. He was very tame. He didn't want to leave. George was outside the window and was not impressed. "I had to let him in the bathroom window," said the lady. Chilling out. The animal rescue volunteers were also amused to see the little fox in the house staying so calmly. The fox was not threatening, in fact. He was just relaxing in the house, minding his own business. How did he get in? Later on, everyone got to know that they forgot to close one of the windows and the fox entered from there. The entire family learned their lesson that they should double-check the doors and windows before falling asleep. But what happened to the fox? Not too happy. The fox was kept inside the cage, which he didn't seem to like. Although the volunteers gave him good food and waited to see if he'll get active and have a proper meal, the fox neither ate anything nor was he trying to move. Special care. The animal rescue volunteers slowly picked up the sleepy fox and took him directly to the vet. They wanted to check if everything was fine with the fox's health. They were hoping that it was just a cold and nothing else. Vet clinic. The local vet checked up the fox and did a few tests. One of the volunteers stayed at the clinic for the reports. After a couple hours, the vets analyzed the reports. Watch further to know how was the fox's health. Everything's good. The vet finally said that the fox's health was fine and he could go back to his normal life. This was great news, as the rescuers could now let him go free in the wild again. But it wasn't that easy to let this fox go in the wild. Coming home. As long as the fox was in the clinic, he enjoyed tasty food and more. The fox soon left his sad avatar and got active enough that the animal rescue volunteers could finally think of letting him go in the wild again. In the old place. Now that it was time for him to go back in the woods, the rescuers were supposed to make sure which area he was from. Sadly, there was no way to know it, and the rescuers decided to leave him in the nearest forest area to Kim's house. Mr. Fox. Fortunately, he was quite healthy and with a beautiful fluffy coat, so after a thorough checkover, he was released back to the area he was found in. "Good luck, Mr. Fox," said a representative of the clinic. Back in the wild. The RSPCA team consists of many professionals who hold the authority to decide what will be the best choice from someone. They met this wild fox to see if he was actually fit enough to be left free or not. Curious animals. The fox was finally released in the wild and headed back to his other fox friends in the jungle. Foxes are very curious by nature, but there are some major reasons behind why they sneak into human territories. The other fox. The condition in which this little fellow was first found improved quickly as he spent time in the clinic. Sometimes these poor animals get lost and end up entering into our houses. Recently, the case of foxes entering houses have increased. Hungry fellow. Usually, fox follow the scent of food, and that brings them to the doorsteps of humans. This is one of the main reasons behind them showing up at houses. And there's proof too. They usually get in the kitchen, not in the rooms. Locked doors. To prevent these animals from sneaking up your house, make sure you close all the doors and windows. Also look for the cat flap in your doors, as the fox can easily enter from there. You never know where one might get in from. Foxes are solitary. Here's the thing about foxes. Unlike their relatives, wolves, foxes are not pack animals. Yes, they're raised in small families during their young age. Once grown up, they live and hunt alone. There are so many things about foxes that make them stand out from their relatives. Hunting them. Many people used to hunt foxes in the name of fun. In 2004, a law was passed in England and Wales which banned hunting foxes with dogs, an exercise in which people ride on horses who follow the bunch of dogs who are chasing a fox. The game is won if the hunters kill the exhausted fox before the dogs rip them apart. Practice still going. Yes, steps are being taken to save these animals. The sad part is that hunters can still kill them in other ways. And heartbreaking part is that fox hunting with dogs is still legal in Ireland, North America, and Australia. Good parents. Foxes give birth to an average of 6 pups. These pups are born blind and they can't see for the next 9 days until they finally open their eyes. During this time, a male fox brings food for them while they stay in a den with their mother fox. When a fox pup got trapped in a wire trap for 2 weeks, his mother brought him food every day until he finally survived. Fox says a lot. Foxes can make 40 different sounds, so you might face a tough time recognizing the sound made by a fox. Also, we aren't sure if they use these sounds in specific conditions or according to their wish. Climbing tree. Gray fox is the only species that can climb trees. They're native of North America, where they surprise many wanderers or campers who see a dog-like animal sitting in the tree. They're expert climbers and can do it to find food or to save their